Hello, hello everyone to the Q&A for the Aphrodite EMEA Championship. I'm Flixus, the tournament organizer, joined by Coadas Domine.
Yeah, hello
And
guys. Hello.
hello, hello. And yeah, we are going to take a look at the rulebook, at the Master Sheet today, clear out some of your questions, answer questions we came up with on our own. And yeah, that is going to be the plan. Of course, we started 5 minutes early, just so everyone um, can join in. And shortly we will start talking about the tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
We're gonna wait until the 6 hour time to start it. Uh, how are you guys feeling in the new year? Are you
yeah, Happy New
excited?
Year, true.
Best wishes to all of you, to the whole Runeterra community.
Yeah, best wishes to everyone. And yeah, let's hope that the new year will be great for LOR. I mean, we had the announcement from Aegis that they renewed their contract with Riot, so let's see what we can get out of those. I am excited for sure.
Is that official? Can we say this?
I mean, it was officially announced on the Aegis server, and I mean, as we know, Riot really doesn't like to talk about LOR, so I would take that as official, official. You mean the new year of Aphrodite?
No, I think Gamma is asking about the edges thingy because we,
Ah,
we got the calendar with edge from
yeah,
edges last
yeah,
time. No.
yeah, true. There is no official confirmation on that yet, but I'm sure as soon as Red is out of the holidays, he will let us know about the plans in 2026.
Yeah, and in case you're asking about Aphrodite league, we're gonna be starting. I don't know exactly, but
Yeah,
we're gonna
I
have a
mean.
small break after the championship, right? Probably.
Mhm. Yeah, and then we'll see. Kind of depends on Aegis as well, who have to finalize the plans, and then we will try our best to align with whatever Aegis wants to do, and work together to make another great year of LOR.
Yeah, we still have like a couple of minutes. We're gonna wait
Mm-hmm.
until people come.
Yup. Uh,
What about you, Felix? Do you have some plans according to Runeterra, or
I
you're
mean,
gonna
I mean,
stick to Riftbound more this year? I know the answer, but maybe.
yeah. Like the tickets are already booked. Riftbound, it's just a good game. LR is too. Don't get me wrong, and of course I will maintain my work at Aphrodite that I did in 2025. Um, let's see if I can qualify to the global championship again. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, generally, my place as a tournament organizer in LOR will stay. And as a player, I mean, if the meta is nice, I will enjoy a few tournaments for sure. But yeah, you're gonna see me at Riftbound, and that's the plan.
The event is happening in Italy, right? Or where is it?
Yeah, in Bologna, that is the tournament, and then there's another one announced in April, but we don't know the location yet. But it's gonna be somewhere in Europe.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Good enough.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to take a look and to play games. I mean the Italy, the Bologna. I've
Yeah,
been
I'm
there
really
once.
excited. I've actually never been to Italy before, so I'm excited. Um, and yeah, really looking forward to that event. Okay. Mm, now, yeah, we're gonna wait a few more seconds, and then we can start with the questions soon. If you have any questions right now, then feel free to just send them in the chat. Of course, the offer was there to send me questions via DM, and until the start of the stream. Now I cannot guarantee that I read them anymore. So if you have questions, production will collect them and we will answer them as well. And other than that, we already have, as I said, a few more questions prepared. And yeah, we'll go over them right now after Aegis is actually here. Happy New Year's to you too. I hope you're enjoying your holidays if you still have them. And yeah, that being said,
Are you still have them, Frixus? Because
I
I
mean,
do.
I mean, like my holidays technically end tomorrow, so sad, but
So you still have them? Okay.
yeah, I still have holidays. Luckily, and I am definitely enjoying them here. So let's take a look. It's gonna be 6 any second now. So I think as a starting point, we can take a look at the master sheet of this tournament, and there we see who's going to be playing. First of all, because we already have our player roster, and I mean, yeah, it's a Q&A, so there have to be questions. Stan, fire me up
Yeah.
about
So
anything you want to know about the master sheet, about the rules. Go ahead.
yeah, definitely. So my first question that I would like to ask is who's gonna be playing there? Like obviously we can see already the names,
Hmm.
but why those players? Like how we choose them, or like how they
Yeah.
choose themselves?
So the method we chose them. I mean, it's just the players who played across 2025 in the Aphrodite League and scored points. They got an invite, and then they could either accept or refuse after they saw the rules. And yeah, and those are the 11 players that said, okay, I want to do this. I want to compete in the Aphrodite EMEA Championship. And the amount of points you can right now see in the start column are the Aphrodite points each player has collected over the year. So, for example, if you went first in a season, then you got 100 Aphrodite points. If you got last, eighth, then you got 1 point. And like this, the players have accumulated points over the years and now are at different standings. And they're going to play with those accumulated points from the year to see who will end up on top.
Yeah. Also, I would like to ask our production to get rid of those names, like our
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
That wasn't
They,
the greatest idea to put them, but because like I think everyone already knows us
yeah,
enough to.
that's true. Um,
Y-
the name tags are still over the overlay.
Yeah, they're on the top. We
It's
haven't thought
okay.
about that, but
Yeah. Um, we have technical difficulties, but that shouldn't be. No, no. Like the names Flixus and Quo Vadis Domine are still there.
yeah, just remove them completely. Just
It's
remove them
okay.
completely. Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay. Um, please stand by.
yeah.
And
I
go
think
ahead.
there were like some people asking why the tournament is not like open for other competitors, for other
Mhm.
players.
Yeah.
Why we just limit ourselves to the players that competed in Aphrodite League throughout the season.
I mean, this league, or I mean, this tournament, is supposed to be quote unquote the finals to the Aphrodite League of 2025. Of course, yeah, we're doing it in 2026, but technically, and it's really like the whole format, as you will see soon, revolves around playing with the points you have fought for over the entire year and taking advantage of being there, being in the action, and returning month for month to the Aphrodite League. And with the pricing being a Legends of Runeterra booster, and no, I'm not talking about a Riftbound booster. We are talking about those original Legends of Runeterra, yeah, booster packs that they gave out in 2023 to different content creators or other persons in the community. The first place in the Aphrodite EMEA Championship will claim one of those booster packs. And yeah, that's surprising, and that's why we thought it would be better to yeah, just give an invite to everyone who has actually competed over the year, who has earned their place. And of course, the Aphrodite League in this year will be open for anyone, so feel free to join there.
Yeah, definitely. And since we are already in a master sheet, that's gonna be the tool that all our competitors gonna be using a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I
Don't have it
imagine.
yet. If you don't have it yet, you can of course find Master Sheet and Rulebook on our Discord. There is a section dedicated to the Aphrodite EMEA Championship and their in tournament info. I mean, if you know about the stream, you probably saw the announcement. But there you can find the Master Sheet and the Rulebook, so you can follow the action throughout the weeks live with the players. I just want to say that here in case there's any confusion.
Yeah, there is like 11 players, but all the players that had at least one Aphrodite point could participate.
Yeah.
They just didn't have time or they didn't want. So those are the players who decided
Yeah,
to
or
take part.
maybe they were intimidated by the rules. That I do admit they
Oh,
might seem a
probably
bit
that. Yeah.
complicated, but that is why we have this Q&A stream to clear out those questions to talk about
Yeah.
what
Hopefully
might be
you have like
confusing.
3 or 4 hours to do it with us. No,
No,
no, we joke.
no, it's
We're
it's
gonna
not
try
going to happen.
to do it in like half of an hour.
Mhm. Well then, let's go on. What else is there to talk about in your opinion?
Well, so maybe the like how the whole tournament looks like we can
Mhm.
see that the tournament is gonna be played in 5 weeks, basically. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yeah, the first match day will be in just about 2 weeks, starting on January 18th. And then every week there will be, yeah, new matches. And starting week, as we can see, as we could see just a second ago, in the pairings, yeah, the opening week will feature a round robin. So each of the 11 players will play against each other player once. So everyone is playing 10 games. Those will be in best of one for now. And I do want to say, yeah, 10 games on one day, that might seem very, very exhausting. Of course, players are allowed to reschedule um, their games for the week prior. So at least for the first 3 weeks, uh, you can, yeah, reschedule your games. They're not streamed. We are going to talk about this later as well. And yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. So basically, every week we're gonna be having uh, less players.
Hmm.
Like some players gonna be getting eliminated every week.
Yeah.
So we're starting with 11, hopefully,
Mhm.
and then in a second week there will be already only 8 competitors.
Exactly. So after this round robin in the opening week with 11 players, we will eliminate 3 players. And yeah, I mean, it says top 8 and should be obvious. We will only continue with the top 8 competitors. Now, I think it's time to talk about what confuses everyone, because how do we determine who the top 8 players are for top 8? And for this, we thought that an elo system would work very well, and this is what the Aphrodite points for like that you collected over the year are for. And the entire tournament will be played in round robins, and the entire tournament will feature an elo system, including grand finals, but we're going to talk about that later in more detail. And yeah, your starting elo basically are the Aphrodite points that you collected over the year. So, for example, if we take a look at the standings, you can see that someone like Lava with 2 points because he participated in one season and got seventh. Um, doesn't have quite the best starting position, one might say. Meanwhile, Robomaster with almost 500 points is definitely comfortable and is not really scared to not make it to top 8. So, of course, the people or the competitors that have returned to the Aphrodite League month for month, they are rewarded by this advantage. And the key point is to notice that because we're using an elo system, players like Lava or Ismail can still make it because they have a relatively low rating. But if they do manage to beat Robomaster, Lunaya, Vendorti, we see those names at the top, they do get a lot of points. And because, yeah, only the three players with the least points get eliminated, yeah, beating one of those three might already do it because you get a lot of points, as I said. That is a wonderful question. And yeah, we can go into the expected win rates tab. And this is basically what everything will revolve around. You see this matchup table here. And uh, yeah, so first of all, these expected win rates are not arbitrary. They are calculated using formulas related to the ELO system. If you are interested in how exactly they work, you can read it in the rulebook. There, the exact formula is presented for each of those win rates. And yeah, then the idea is based on your win rates, you have an expected amount of wins. And then we see, okay, for example, Robomaster here, because he has such a high rating, he is expected to win 8.3, or he's expected to have a score of 8.3. Of course, one game is one point, so he's either definitely gonna be above or below it. Saying this, it is worth noting that, for example, Lunaya appears to be on 8.0, but everything here is rounded. So in reality, for example, Lunaya's expected score is 8.04, or Salty Simon here has an expected score of 5.0004. So of course, if Lunaya, for example, makes exactly 8 wins, she might get a bit less points, or it might appear like she lost it. Um, but yeah, and when do we make the difference? So for example, let's say Robomaster has won 6 out of 10 games, then the difference would be 2.3. And then something called a K factor comes into play, which we defined as 40. And then every player will lose or gain points equal to the difference of their expected and actual wins. So, for example, Robomaster wins 6 out of 10 games, while he was expected to win 8.3. So he will lose 2.3 times 40 makes 81.2, I think. Uh, he loses 81.2 points and will play with that rating in the next stage. And yeah, like this, you gain and you lose points and go on in the tournament. If you want to know how much points you would get if you beat one specific player, um, for example, Robomaster versus Ace, they have nice and clean numbers with 80% and 20%. And yeah, something that is important to notice is, of course, in an elo system, the amount of points one player gets is the amount of points the other player loses. Um, and yeah, if Robomaster would, for example, win the game versus Ace, which is with 80%, definitely the expected case, um, we see, okay, yeah, the difference between what was expected, 1, and the 80%, that is 0.2. So basically just the win rate or the chance of him losing. This is the amount of points he would get. So 20% of 40 being 8 points. So if Robomaster wins against Ace, Robomaster gains 8 points and Ace loses 8 points. However, if the unlikely case is there, me being that Ace beats Robomaster, um, Ace will gain 80% of the 40, the K factor, which is 32. So Ace would gain 32 points by beating Robomaster, and Robomaster would lose 32 points. That is how it works. But for reasons of simplicity, we will not recalculate the ELO rating after each and every game, but only at the end. But technically, if you want to know, if you're one of the bottom players and you are up against one of the higher players, you want to know how much you would actually get. It's basically just that. The win rate they have against you times 40. So yeah, as I said, if Ace would win against Robomaster, it is 80% of the 40, so 32 points, and 91% of the 40, which should be like, I don't know, 36 something, um, is what Zerg would get by beating Robomaster. I hope that was clear.
Yeah, you got it, chat. You got it. I think it
Yeah.
was simple like that.
Uh,
Nothing
I
complicated.
mean, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, on itself, Elo shouldn't be too confusing because we all play it. Like every one of us played LOR with ladder that uses Elo. Most of us probably played League of Legends, which uses Elo. But the issue is no one really knows how it exactly works, and um, yeah, most games also have like caps. For example, in LOR, you can only gain between 15 and 30, or like lose between 50 and 30. Also, something worth noting is that you can technically drop to negative Aphrodite points, so below zero, and this will not affect too much. The only change is, I mean, just the difference is being larger. So, for example, Ismail, by losing a few times in the first week, can of course drop to minus 20 Aphrodite points. Likely be eliminated, but if multiple players drop to negative Aphrodite points, then it is totally possible that in top 8 we have someone starting with negative points.
Yeah, definitely possible, but I think it's not likely, right?
Uh,
I guess we will see.
it can happen. Like we have multiple
Okay,
players
okay.
that are. I mean, we have 3 players that are starting with single digit, and we have Mefalp who is starting with 15. So if they are all kind of unlucky and yeah, don't win too much or like win less than expected, um, then yeah, it's definitely possible we have 4 players with negative points after the first week. But of course, we're gonna see. As a low-rated, I mean, yeah, well, as a low-rated player, as you can see in the table on the stream right now, um, you are also just expected to win less, and therefore it is way easier for you to gain points. So, Cirque, Lava, Ismail, for example, all have an expected win count of 3.4. So, if they win just 4 out of 10 matches, they will gain points. However, Robomaster needs to win 9 out of 10 matches in the opening round to gain any points. Um, so don't be too scared that someone up there is just soaking up all the elo, because it's very unlikely. And they would have to have a 100% win rate to just leave everyone off, so it will stay
Yeah,
interesting until the very end.
yeah. Hello, Ace. And if you miss the 20 minutes of Frictus explaining the stuff, you can always look at the VOD that we're gonna be having on the
Yeah.
YouTube and on Twitch as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the Frictus want to explain it once again.
No. I'm gonna politely redirect you to the VOD. Of course, we are going to upload this right now to YouTube, so players, especially players, but also interested spectators that missed the stream can always watch back. And of course, if you have more questions, you can also just hit me up in a DM or ask in a public chat on our server, and then we will help you out because it doesn't make sense to host a tournament no one understands. Um, so yeah, that is what we are going to do. And this, what I just explained with the elo system, with the round robin, is the procedure for every single week. So in opening, we have 11 players, and then in top 8, we have, guess what, 8 players. Then 6 players four players in semifinals, and in the end, in finals, we end up on just two players. And if we look at finals expected win rates, you can see that finals works a tiny bit differently. Um, the way this is supposed to work is just instead of calculating new elo after each and every match, we do it after every game. So the grand finals will either end after the best of five has been decided, or um, after the leading player cannot be like has to win, even though if they lose all other games. So let's say they are 2-0 up in the grand finals in the best of five, and even losing three games in a row now wouldn't or would still leave them in first place in terms of the Aphrodite points. Yeah, they just won at this point. Before you think, okay, that sounds kind of unfair, you would have to have more than double the points of the other person for the grand finals to be like canceled early. So in most cases, like 90% of the cases, the winner of this best of five will be the winner of the tournament overall because of how the ELO works. It is also worth noting that for semifinals and finals, the K factor is increased from 40 to 100. So yeah, like even if you if you start the grand finals with half the points of your opponent, you can still reasonably catch up as long as you win the series. Um, Now, once again, you might be wondering, okay, but Flixus, best of five in Legends of Runeterra, how does that work? Um, for that, we should take a look into the rulebook, and I think it's better to start from the start of the tournament being opening. So instead of just bland best of three games, this tournament, aside from having or introducing a new elo system, will also have best of ones, best of threes, and best of fives. And the reason for that is to, for example, in opening round we have 11 players. Each of them would have to play 10 best of threes. That's just too much for one day. So we made it best of one, but the idea is that you still bring three decks and would you just start normally. We have one ban and you have three decks, and out of the two remaining decks, you pick one, and you only play the first game out of the best of three, and this is then the result, right? So wait.
Yeah, we are playing. Yeah, Rava, we are playing on Sundays.
Yeah. So first of all, the silence was production reading out a question. Um, Second of all, um, hold on, I have to read the question again. I didn't understand it. Any particular reason you didn't switch to a regular 8-player bracket after the first round? Um, I mean, the point is, or something that we wanted to maintain is like you played for your advantage and you will keep it. That's why the Aphrodite League has a triangle bracket because it rewards someone who played really well in the first week, or like groups or qualifiers. um, they are put in a favorable position in the triangle bracket and have it easier to advance. The same idea is basically this. We don't just make a cut and say, okay, yeah, you made the cut and now you're equal. We still want to reward the people that have played regularly over the entire tournament and not just in week one. And that is why, yeah, the points are being maintained for every week. And yeah, to Lava, it is on Sundays, but it is really important to note that rescheduling is um, allowed in the first 3 weeks. There will be no official broadcast for opening top 8 and top 6. Instead, VAT is so friendly and will co-stream, or like I'm not really co-stream, but um, who will spectate and feature some matches of those 3 weeks, and semifinals and finals then will be streamed by us here on the Aphrodite Esports Twitch channel.
And I think the other reason why we decided to have that type of a format is because we wanted to combine the competitive with a little bit of a fun as well.
Yeah,
A
that's
little bit
true.
of unusual thingy, add some spice, like change something. There was quite a lot of those top 8 brackets throughout the year. And
Mm,
yeah, just to have something new.
yeah,
Maybe it's gonna
exactly.
be interesting. Maybe it's gonna be fun. We hope for that, but we will see
Mm.
how it's gonna perform.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't noticed from the Aphrodite League yet, we like to make new innovative tournaments, even though they always seem so confusing and too hard to understand. But we're trying our best. Which that's why we're doing the stream. And yeah, it's also about like round robin and Elo system is just about the most competitive solution you can have. Because we all have been there, like single elimination top 8, you break, and you're very very sad that you're just out like that. And yeah, that's why we said, okay, we make round robin even for semifinals, and yeah, just make a proper, really, really competitive ending to our 2025. And this is what we are going to do. Now, I have been drifting off. I was explaining how the best of one, the best of threes, and the best of fives in this tournament will work. So, of course, opening relatively easy. You play a normal best of three with normal lineup restrictions, but you only play your first game, and then you cancel the lobby. Then top 8 and top 6. Those are best of threes, but not the best of threes you might now normally imagine. The idea is that every player brings 5 decks in total, and across those 5 decks, they may repeat either a champion. So, for example, you could have Victor in 2 of your 5 decks, or you may repeat a region combination. So, you are a real big lover of Ionia PNZ.
Oh yeah,
You,
sign me
yeah.
up.
So you bring 2 different Ionia PNZ decks. This is possible. Note, of course, for top 8 and top 6, I said either. This is because you couldn't bring 2 Ionia PNZ decks each with Victor, or like one Ionia PNZ with Victor and then Aphelios Victor. I mean two Ionia PNZ decks, and then one of them being, I don't know, Heimerdinger Victor. Then you cannot bring Aphelios Victor. It is an or, so you have to decide. And then every player bans one deck of the other, so they are 4 decks remaining. And from those 4 decks, each player chooses 3, and then they play. Then they make a best of 3 lobby, and play. Then they play a normal best of 3. Of course, if both of your Ionia PNZ decks remain, you have to kick out one of them. And if your remaining 4 decks are all entirely different, you have a free choice of how to build your lineup into the remaining 4 decks of your opponent. And yeah, as I said, from there on, you play a normal best of 3. You will have a second ban, and I guess you can make out yourself what the strategic advantages and disadvantages of bringing the same region combination twice, for example, are. Moving on into the semifinals and finals, there it gets kind of complicated, but that's why it's only for the top 4 players. Um, Now we play best of 5. Each player brings 7 decks, bans 3. Hold on. Yeah. Um, so 7 decks, as I said. I don't know if like my highlighting is showing on the stream.
Yeah, it
It
is. It
is
is.
perfect. Okay, and while in top 8 and top 6, you had to decide whether you want to repeat one champion or one region combination. Now it's end. So you may play Victor twice in your lineup. You may play Aphelios Victor and Heimerdinger Victor and then another Ionia PNZ. You may also, of course, play I don't know, Karma Set and Karma Seraphine. So of course the two shared region combinations and the shared region combination and the shared champion can be in the same two decks. And yeah, boom, boom, boom. And then it's gonna be best of one. So because for best of five there is no way that the client will support it. Um, we are entrusting the top four players to handle subsequent best of one lobbies. And as I already said, there will be three bans. And yeah, then from the remaining four, just like in top 8, top 6, each player chooses three. And we play by the rules of a best of three, being if you win with a deck, you cannot play it anymore. And the first to three game wins the match. That is the idea. Now, if I have been confusing about anything of that, just tell me. I made the tournament. Everything seems intuitive to me, but that doesn't mean it has to be intuitive to you, the viewers. So yeah. Um, boom, boom, boom. Should be best of one. Spring 7, band 6. That is troll, I believe. Um, can normal 1v1s be spectated? I mean, that highly depends on the players. As I already said, we have made an agreement with VAT to like in our name kind of spectate the game. I mean, he will do it on his channel, but he will look out for people who may have rescheduled, which we expect to be quite a lot. And then he will spectate them, maybe commentate a bit. Generally, of course, if you feel uncomfortable with having spectate on in your 1v1s, then turn it off. That is a personal decision. But if you are a player and Vad asks you, hey, I want to spectate, it would be very nice to just let him.
Oh, he's asking if that's possible to spectate the normal games in a client, the technical. If it's technically possible.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
possible.
okay.
Um, mm, hmm. So, what else is there to talk about? In the rulebook showing right now, if we scroll a bit down to Aphrodite point system, you can see the two formulas being used. This first formula here calculates the expected win rate, and the second here will calculate or like the new Aphrodite point count. Aphrodite points being, of course, the ELO rating. And hold on, did I miss? Ah, yeah, I missed something else very important for the tournament. The tournament will be played in Eternal. Now, calm down. We're not gonna have Elder Dragon just dominating the entire tournament. The idea is that with this tournament, we want to relive the history of Runeterra. And therefore, yeah, we already have it here. You are going to unlock different expansions throughout the course of the tournament. So, opening week will be played only with cards from Foundation, Rising Tides, and Call of the Mountain. Then top 8 will unlock more. I'm not going to read them all, but you
Oh
can.
man, old good Runeterra first
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
I'm
That
waiting for it.
that is the idea. We get a lot of nostalgia in the first week. Then in second week, yeah, we get the next three and events. If you remember, events is like the variety cards. So we weren't really sure where to put them. We settled on week 2. Events hosts, I think, Akshan, Jace, for example. Um, Go hard, yeah. Thanks, production. Those are the cards you will unlock with events. And the really not so nice stuff, like Sunken Temple, Heart of the Tree, Elder Dragon, all of that is reserved for semifinals and finals. So worry not. Uh, we will be spared for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, but
Uh,
because of the format of the finals, when you have like so many decks and so many bans, like
yeah,
if you don't want to face ED, then you won't face ED. That's not
exactly.
an
Because
issue.
because because the idea is even like in top 8, top 6, you have two bands. right? So you can always get rid of I don't know, like
The
Victor if you really
darkness?
hate him. Yeah, or the darkness. True, true. Two different darkness versions in one lineup. I mean, I would be excited to see that, but aside from that, for example, in semifinals, finals, you have three bands. So even if they bring, I don't know, two times Elder Dragon, um, like two different Elder Dragon decks, Elder Dragon Nora and Morgana, you can ban both Elder Dragon decks and still have a ban left. And this is, yeah, so you can be generous in your deck building or in lineup building strategies. Um, and I'm excited to see what the meta will be, honestly, and what the remaining decks are going to be. Lunaya asks, what if they bring 7 PNZ decks? Do I cry? Yes, you do. Um, Yeah. So, are there any other questions, production? I didn't catch on with the chat.
Yeah,
Aber.
I think. I mean, we got through all the important questions that we had prepared.
Mhm.
Do you guys have anything else to ask? I'm asking the chat right now.
Yeah.
It's a good moment to do it.
In the meantime, I will browse and maybe find something else to talk about. But while you, the chat, are thinking about um, 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 your questions that you still might have, yeah, I just want to point out once more, of course, that in this tournament we reward performances. So, for example, if Robomuscle does manage to get his 9 or 10 wins out of 10 games, he will be rewarded by having an enormous amount of points and being even safer to advance into the finals. And I mean, Robo can just kind of chill, like Robo Lunaya, like those really high-rated players. They can just relax. And in the meantime, it's gonna be very interesting if we can see an another underdog run from the very bottom, because yeah, like the bottom players, they really do have to put in the work, show up, take those wins. And we made a couple of test runs with this, like theoretical test runs. It is definitely possible by being above the average to make it round to round, even if you're starting with only single digit points. And I really believe this is going to be a great, great tournament. Um, Now, while I was talking nonsense, were there any other questions showing up?
Yeah, Runa asked if there are any ban restrictions like in the usual APH league.
No, there will be no restrictions like that. I mean, you get for every single match, you get a lot of bans, I would say. And yeah, I think that should be sufficient. And with the restrictions to each lineup, yeah, sure. Once more, I do want to repeat though, um, repeating lineups, I think doesn't make too much sense, because except for semifinals and finals, every other week you will have more and different cards, newer cards, which of course tend to be stronger. So I don't expect that to matter too much. But technically, if you want to, you can bring the same lineup to semifinals and finals. That is possible. But because you bring 7 decks and they're gonna be 3 bands, and out of the remaining 4, you build another lineup out of 3. So you know, bringing the same lineup will not really feel like the same lineup game for game, because you're going to have very different lineups in the very end, I believe.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And also something very important, with the expansions, you can filter in your client. And if you are a player, I heavily recommend to do so. If you are in the deck builder, on the left, you have in the filters, you can just turn on the expansions that are allowed for the respective week and build your deck like that. We intentionally did not do it with like release dates, for example, to allow Field Rush, not Field Rush, Go Hard from the very beginning, and then Jace a bit later, or Aphelios. Um, because it would be too confusing. You know, we don't want you guys to look up the release date of every card, so that's why events like all the variety cards out of 5 years of LOR are packed up in one expansion. And I do heavily recommend to build your lineups with this filter. And I'm pretty sure Runeterra AR has that filter as well, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah, and also another thing is if you can, just don't build your lineup very last second, so you can double check if they are legal. Because like we
Yep.
will try, but we won't be able to check like every single card,
Hmm.
and then like we will be forced like to I don't know disqualify or something like that. We don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so make sure your deck is legal, like, because there are the restrictions. So,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be like that hard to verify that by yourself, because as we said, there are like the you can do it in the client pretty easily.
Yep. That is true. And I mean, if it happens, which I hope it doesn't, we will think about, because double checking that is can be kind of tough. We will see. Also note that I think the client has a restriction to 50 decks, I believe. Stan, you should know that. Was it 50?
Um, I don't know how many, but mine is always full.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I definitely want to see some screenshots in like finals week when you have to prepare like a 7 deck lineup. Ah, it's going to be great. I am so excited. And are there any more questions to this point?
I don't think I don't see others, but in case you missed any part of this yeah
You
explaining
know.
explanation video, you can always go back and see our VOD that we're gonna be
Yep.
having on a YouTube
Jump
and
scare.
also on a Twitch.
Yeah. We will upload it to YouTube, and of course, you can always ask me or anyone from the tournament staff about anything. We will try to answer as quick as possible. You can ask on the Aphrodite Esports channel, Discord server, on any channel. That's what I meant. And then we will help you there. We want to make sure that you understand our tournament, even though it seems hard. And yeah, that being said, I have nothing left to add. What about you?
Yeah, I think you can always communicate with us through the Discord during the week and whenever you feel like you need that. So for now, I think that's gonna be everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then that being said, no, there's not any TLDR chat. But yeah, as we said, there's gonna be a VOD. If you have any specific questions, hit me up. And that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful evening and see you guys on January 18th.
And I think at the ending we can see once again the players that gonna be participating. And
Good idea. Good idea.
good luck to
Yep.
everyone. Thanks for watching and
Good luck.
see you
See
guys.
ya. Bye bye.